Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a fun show lined up for you. All right, I got my bro Chilmont that I'm going to bring on the show today. We're going to talk all things Vols football. It's going to be fun, and we'll have a good time discussing all that. Well, all right, folks, I wanted to bring my brother Chilmont. He's not been on the show in a couple of weeks, and I figured it'd be a good idea to bring him in as we're getting closer to the start of the season. And we're going to talk all about the Vols. We're going to talk some recruiting. We're going to talk about the first game with Virginia and early on in the season. And we're just going to get into all things Vols.
Sounds good, dude. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we've been on a pretty decent little roll. I think we're ranked number 11 right now in recruiting. And we only got 16 commits. And, of course, we're probably going to end up with about 25, I would think, depending on – we still got this NCAA thing kind of hanging around just a little bit.
Are we ever going to hear anything from that? The NCAA is so ridiculous about dragging their feet about this kind of stuff.
Well, we're waiting.
Can we not hire Saban for like 10 minutes and have him make a phone call to get it wrapped up? I mean,
nope. I don't think that works that way. So we'll probably find out soon enough. Like I said, I've given my opinion on that. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal, but you know, we'll see if it does turn out to be a big deal, then nobody's ever going to cooperate with them again. We've discussed that. On the recruiting end of it, like I said, we've just had 3 straight 4-stars come on board. And so our average is real good. It's almost a 91, which would put us, you know, pretty solidly in the top 6 or 7, which is the average is what's the key. When it's all said and done for rankings, you've got to have that good average because you've got some teams in front of us that are, you know, they've just got a lot more recruits than we do, committed. But it doesn't mean they're going to end up ahead of us, just like Alabama's behind us. But you know they're going to sign a bunch of 5-stars like they always do at the last minute.
I started to say they've already got like 3. So, you know, then Georgia's got a couple. So that's always going to be how it is. But I think when you talked about this a lot on your channel, Heupel and crew, they're going for guys who are good, who are really good, athletic, all that good stuff, but also quality guys, i.e. you're not going to get the 3 o'clock in the morning phone call from the UT police. You know, those kind of guys that hopefully we're done with. I'll keep my fingers crossed on that. He's going after more quality guys. Guys will be great in the locker room, guys who really want to be here.
Yeah, their grade point average is the highest it's ever been in the history of UT football, which I think that is a huge sign. And it's actually higher than the last quarter. Last quarter was the highest it had ever been. That tells me they're not kidding around, that they've got a really high quality culture. Grades are a great indicator of that. As a former Division I player myself, I'm telling you, when the grades are up, you've got people doing the right thing. When the grades are down, they're doing the wrong thing. Guaranteed. 100% guaranteed.
He ain't lying.
So I feel very good about our culture. I see what's going on with Georgia and Alabama, and I don't want to get into too much of it because people have died. But I see a culture that's a little bit out of control at Georgia, and I understand why it's happening. It's they want to win. That's a big part of it. And then on top of it, you've got a transfer portal and you've got an NIL situation to where you can't really come down on these players because they'll just leave. So if you want to win, which Georgia desperately does, they can't come down on these players and say, you know, you're not going to drive like a crazy person. You're not going to do these various things, you know. And, of course, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution's kind of come after them pretty good, which is, you know, I always question how unbiased that is. So I'm not defending Georgia football, but I also, you know, we'll see how that plays out. But I feel very good about the Vols culture, and it would be great to get a ton of 5-stars, but not if you do it like Texas A&M and you've got them in the locker room doing stuff that they should never do, and you end up having to throw them off the team.
And that's, you know, a lot of times these really highly rated players, these big-time 5-stars and everything, a lot of these guys have just been skating through on their talent, you know, all through junior high and high school and all that. I mean, you remember it, you saw it when we were in school back in the day. guys who never cracked a book. Trouble is when you get to Division I, you can't get away with much. Everybody's watching. You've got news networks and newspapers watching like crazy. You've got fans watching. You've got social media keeping an eye on things, and everybody's got a camera and a video recorder in their hand.
Yeah, that's a big part of it, and that's why we maybe didn't see things in the 70s, 80s, and 90s that you see all the time, because literally, yeah, just what you said. Everybody's a newspaper reporter all of a sudden, because they've got that phone and they can just throw it on social media.
Yeah, that's something you have to deal with. And for players who've, like I said, they're used to having some serious entitlement going. It's a different animal when you get to Division I. You're in the fishbowl now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially you're with these huge programs. Well, any SEC program, pretty much.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's now we've got some interesting things going on. Of course, we're very interested in Mike Matthews, the 5-star, or Nawari, another 5-star edge rusher, and we've got other big time guys we're going after. But currently, there's a couple of recruits, and I actually just talked about them. Was Kai Bates, who is a big-time 4-star cornerback, a lockdown corner. There is nothing we need more than lockdown corners. That is just huge for us, because that's our one weak link. It's a very weak link.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Yeah, that's a key position on defense, is having those really good corners, and of course, safeties and all that. But the cornerbacks are huge in today's game. When guys can lock down those short, easy passes for easy first downs, really cover a receiver, that makes for a different ball game, and we could really use the cornerbacks.
Yeah, well, Caleb Beasley is already committed, and he is a lockdown corner. We've got Boo Carter, who is an absolute nightmare back there at safety. He is so fast. He causes all kinds of chaos. If we pick up this Kai Bates, another absolute pure lockdown corner, that would be a fantastic recruiting class as far as defensive backs for us. Those 3 guys right there are cornerstones. Now, we've already got a couple of really nice ones, actually 3, in Jordan Matthews, Ricky Gibson, and then also Christian Conyer out of Kentucky. And they're already there as freshmen. But we've got to start stacking this type of level talent like Georgia and Alabama does, because if our secondary becomes a strength instead of our obvious weakness with the offense that we have it would just be, we're a nightmare. All of a sudden, we are an absolute nightmare for anybody to play. We're already a nightmare.
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
Well, it's hard to say. We become Georgia with a better offense.
We would be very dangerous, very quick. And
we could have a defense anywhere close to Georgia or Alabama with the kind of offense that Heupel runs and the weapons. I was just going through the roster. I was looking at the schedule, but just looking at the roster, going through our wide receivers, we got like 6 starters. You could put 3 or 4 out there at a time, and there's no way you can cover 3 of our best guys. It's just not possible.
Yeah, we're so dangerous on offense. It's crazy. And
Greg McCoy is a giant. Dante, what's his name? Dante Thornton. He's a giant. He's a matchup nightmare for a defensive back or even a corner. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him.
I still think the worst matchup nightmare they're going to have is Squirrel White. That guy, you can't cover him. You cannot cover him.
No, he's what is it? Is he 4'4", 40?
It's somewhere between 4'3" and 4'4" and 4'4".
It's below 4'4".
And then on top of it, what about when they throw Cam Seldon out there at 220 pounds that runs a 4'4", 4'3", 40? That's another guy.
That's another guy. Yeah, that's another guy I'm really looking forward to see. He ran a couple of plays in the orange and white game, and nobody got near him. He was just zoom gone.
Yeah, there's a real talent level there, and especially when you add it into this lethal offense that makes us very, very destructive for other teams' defense. But if our defense is all of a sudden solid, now it's probably going to be considerably better in the defensive backfield this year, I think.
Yeah.
The defensive line is fine. The defensive line, we're golden there. We stop the rush. We do a good job. We do need to get more pressure on the quarterback. That will help the defensive backs. But I do expect an improvement. Now, do I think we're going to be Georgia or Alabama level? Absolutely not. But we don't have to be.
Yeah, we lost Banks, but I think we've got some really good linebackers, and we've signed some really good, supposed to be edge rushers. So, like you said, if we could get some pressure on the quarterback, then you're not going to do a South Carolina game on us like last year. Or you're not going to be like Florida and score at will with a quarterback who was kind of sucking before he played us and ended up going like first round of the draft.
Yeah, everybody had a field day with our defensive backfield last year, whether it was Spencer Radler or whether it was Anthony Richardson, and of course Bryce Young. Bryce Young. I can't believe I almost forgot that guy's name. Bryce Young.
No, it's like
they all three threw over 400 yards against us and had a field day.
And that tells you how bad our defensive backfield was. Nobody ran on us.
No, not at all.
None of those teams ran on us. You know, like I said, if we can improve that defensive backfield, which I think we have, like you said, we picked up especially if we can pick up one of these 5-star cornerbacks. The guy you mentioned earlier, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, this Wesley Walker also that started playing at the end of the year. He'd been injured in the early parts of the year, but he is a very good player. They've got him as one of the highest ranked players in the country at safety. And he'll be starting. I think he'll start next year. And then we've got Gabe Jeudy-Lally, who's a very steady starter from BYU. So we've got the depth and we've got some young talent. If they, we're not going to be putting it together with Band-Aids anymore. And then you bring in another big class next year, and all of a sudden we're looking good. And of course, we're doing great on the offensive line and recruiting. We brought in some real nice 4-stars and some big dogs that I think will help us significantly. That Satterwhite guy is real deal. He is a big-time player, and we just got him as well.
I was looking, we got a bunch of red shirt senior guys, too, on the offensive line, so we've got some serious depth there, which is great.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys are pandemic extra-year guys. Next year, that's why we're recruiting hard offensive linemen because we're going to need them next year.
Yeah, we're going to graduate a bunch after this year.
Yeah, and that's going to happen with a lot of teams that had that extra year, and I think that ends in 25.
Yeah, we'll lose Mays this year, and
he'll go to the NFL.
Oh yeah, no problem.
We'll need to replace him, but we're bringing in some big time players that I think can do that.
Okay.
So and let's see. Now Braylon Russell, who's a huge running back, I just did a video on him. He's going to commit Friday at 7:45. It's either going to be us or Arkansas.
I believe one fella come from Arkansas. Get it?
We have the momentum. He had decommitted from Arkansas, so we'll see how that goes. That would be Thunder and Lightning with Peyton Lewis, who we got from Virginia, who's an absolute speedster. He is going to be fantastic, and just add to that running back room, which is already a 3-headed monster. And then I'm telling you, we are very.
We had a great running game. It was overshadowed last year, but we had a really good running game last year. We'll have a better one this year.
Yeah, so I feel real good about that. Then Edwin Spillman, who is a 4-star linebacker, is going to be committing on the 21st, and he's a Tennessee guy, and I feel real good about him. His older brother, Nathan, is also on the team already, so a lot of people think that he's going to be a Vol. And he is a freak athlete, very good. I was listening to Josh and Swain today on the radio, and Swain says this guy is next level.
Good.
So I feel good about that.
Yeah, I listen to Josh and Swain all the time. Anytime I'm driving around, it's 93.1. Great channel there with.
Now it's 99.1 for me.
Or excuse me, No, it's 93.1 for me.
Is it really?
Sure.
Are you sure?
No. I take that back. It's 99.1. I was thinking.
Getting ready to say, unless they're on another radio station. I know my radio stations.
Yeah, it's button number 4 on my on my list of buttons there.
All right, folks, and one last thing, Wilmot, some of you already know this, has a YouTube channel himself, and it's Backyard Smoking and Grilling with Wilmot, right? Is it Wilmot or Will? Wilton. Will, that's right. Backyard Smoking and Grilling with Will. And he did a video recently. It was a pork butt. It was a really good video, and it came out fantastic. I mean, it looks so good.
Let's take a look at it. Oh, nice. That's looking good. Hey, YouTube friends.
And it was super easy to do. How he does it makes it look easy. But I'm going to attach that at the end of this, and let's let Wilmot tell you about this about this video.
Well, it was just a simple one. It was a simple pork butt I found on sale at Kroger, and I've been wanting to try it for a long time. You know, I got rid of my offset smoker that I had for years. I used to have that giant one, and got a pellet smoker. And the nice thing about the pellet smokers, you can set them and walk away and just, you know, fill the hopper full of the wood pellets, and it's actually burning wood. I put it on at like 11 o'clock at night and went to bed, and I monitored it on my cell phone. It comes with an app that you can actually adjust the temperature in the smoker, the whole 9 yards, and turned out really good. I came out the next morning about 7 o'clock, and it was ready to wrap, and just added some more pellets to the grill, took it inside, and just finished it up in the oven wrapped, and it turned out really good. It was really tender and good.
Yeah, you brought us some of that, and it was absolutely, it might have been the best I've ever had. I was shocked that it was, I mean, it was like next level. It was moist. It was delicious. I mean, it was perfect. I had it 2 days in a row. I literally had it 2 days in a row.
Yeah, I told you the good tip as far as reheating it.
Yeah, what was it? I had to put it in aluminum foil.
Just wrap it in aluminum foil and stick it in the oven on 300 for about 15 minutes. If you put it in a microwave, it'll turn to beef jerky.
That's exactly what I usually do. And this time I didn't do it, and I put it in the aluminum foil, and it came out just as good as it was before. So I ate it the second day.
Yeah, it'll be steamy and moist and delicious.
Yeah.
Or you can just do it in a pot with a little bit of barbecue sauce in it.
Well, Wilmot has done competitive barbecuing, so you'll enjoy this video, and it comes out really good. And it's a funny video too. We put a lot of funny stuff in it. Anyway, I was glad to have Chilmont on the show, and we'll put this out. And one other thing, I'm going to be on Big Vol Daddy's channel tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Just want to make everybody aware I'm going to be on Big Vol Daddy at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, unless something happens between now and then. But anyway, we're going to talk a little bit of Vols football and all that good stuff. So check us out and 8 o'clock. All right, folks, just wanted to have a show with my bro and talk all things Vols, which we certainly did. And be sure to check out Wilmot's barbecue video, man. I'm telling you, it's good and it's funny. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's be able to continue to cover the Vols and all things SEC and all that. If you've not subscribed, it's on your right, my left. Just boom, hit that little button. Costs you nothing. Helps me out. And right over here's the most recent video. Be sure to check that out. And Wilmot's video is going to be right up here. No, wait, it'll be right up here above that one. And that's the barbecue video. So anyway, and we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.